Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Mary Balliet, and we'd like to start today by talking about how do I reduce side effects from the medicine I need to take. So this is a presentation aimed at the consumer, all of the patients, all of us who are on some kind of medication, and all medication is known to have side effects. So we're going to really look at why are there side effects and what can I do to reduce those side effects. So the first thing we want to really take a look at is the fact that 2/3 of all Americans are on at least one prescription drug. But more than 4 out of 10 older adults take 5 or more medications. That means that the overall rate of what is called polypharmacy is 17%. If you think about that, that's almost 1 in 5 people are on more than one medication. That is a lot of people having to take some kind of medicine to have a good quality of life. The problem is that there are risks to medication. It's possible that you're going to have this second point here, that you're going to have side effects of drugs, and that is due to the nutrients that are depleted. And that's going to be what we're really going to talk about today. But the World Health Organization says that more than 50% of drugs consumed worldwide are prescribed or dispensed inappropriately, and almost half of all patients use drugs incorrectly. And this can lead to sickness or even death. Sickness would be called morbidity, and death would be called mortality. So we really don't want to have that. We want to know that the medication we're taking is helping us and not hurting us. So the thing I wanted to start with today is the medication that's incredibly common. The majority of women in their reproductive years are taking some kind of hormonal birth control. According to the CDC, between 2017 and 2019, 65% of women in the United States are using some type of hormonal birth control. And I have all these lists over here. That means that they all have some hormones in them. 38.7% of women aged 15 to 19, so these are very young women, are on hormonal birth control. But 75% of women between 40 and 49 are on hormonal birth control. What are the side effects of birth control? Well, you can have breakthrough bleeding, it's called, or spotting. This is the most common when you have what's called continuous dosing or extended cycle pills. This is when you are on, say, the patch. This can happen. Women can get breast tenderness. Also, nausea, headaches, bloating, and increases in your blood pressure. And we can see these all can possibly start to get better the longer you're on it and your body gets used to it. But we're going to really talk about mitigating these, because the majority of these side effects are actually due to the nutrition that is depleted while you're on the birth control pills. So we want to have it that you can have the positive benefit of hormonal birth control without the negative side effects. How about hormonal replacement therapy after menopause? 44% of postmenopausal women report having used hormone replacement therapy. 40% use pills, another 10% use cream or suppository or some kind of injection, and skin patches are another 4%. And some women do more than one. They may take the pills, but also then do the cream. Now, the reason that women do better on hormone replacement therapy is it gets rid of hot flashes and mood swings and vaginal dryness and the problem with concentrating. But the side effects that were shown in the nurses study that caused women to way decrease the amount of hormone replacement therapy was the risk of strokes and blood clots, breast cancer, endometrial cancer, and gallstones. But I want to show you that you can, the majority of women, not every woman, you have to talk to your doctor, but the majority of women can have the positive benefit of both birth control pills and hormone replacement therapy when they have the nutrition that is depleted. If the side effects go away, that is a sign that the side effects were only due to the drug-induced nutrient depletion. So what do they deplete? We can see that oral contraceptives or any kind of rings that contain the hormones or the patches or an IUD, if it has hormones in it, it depletes vitamins B6, magnesium, B1, B2, B3, B5, folic acid, and B12. That is all the B vitamins plus magnesium. There are some research papers that also say that they may deplete the amino acid tyrosine. And there are some papers that say they can have even more impact than that. If we look at the things that are on the right-hand side, we can see these are all the side effects that we just talked about on the last slide. Cardiovascular risk, like heart attacks, strokes, and blood clots, that's due to the combination of the B6 and magnesium being missing because it's getting depleted in order to break down the birth control pills in your liver. When I have cramping, that can also be magnesium deficiency. When I am deficient in my B1, B2, B3 energy and B5, then I'm going to have a lot of fatigue and my mitochondria can't work. And if my mitochondria can't work, any area of my body that's a little bit weak will break down. Folic acid and B12 are very important to get rid of homocysteine levels. And we have a whole presentation about that. So I would like you to watch that at another time. And homocysteine is the cause of the cardiovascular problems. But when I use B6, B9, which is folic acid, and B12 together, then we eliminate both the anemia and the homocysteine levels. And it is the loss of those vitamins and the increase in the homocysteine that leads to the neurological diseases. So again, it's very important to replete all of these vitamins and the mineral magnesium. For women on hormone replacement therapy, they have some impact on all the B vitamins, but way more impact on B6 and magnesium. And so that's just showing those again there. So the take-home message for hormone replacement therapy of either birth control pills or HRT postmenopausally is that we want to replete those vitamins that are missing. Now, why is that? There is the mechanism of why I get a drug-induced nutrient depletion on birth control pills and hormone replacement therapy. And that is because every single medication that is over the counter or prescription that has to be detoxified in the liver, which is the majority of them. It's not all of them, but a good 75% of all over-the-counter medications, prescription and prescription medication, is broken down. And so it can be gotten rid of. That's why I have to take it every day in the cytochrome P450 system. If I look at the cytochrome P450 system over here, it is a liver pathway. And what the liver does is it has two steps. In step one, I actually burn up the medicine. So step one is what's called an oxidation step. When I do oxidation or burning, I need all of my B vitamins, B1, B2, B3, energy, B5. To make more mitochondria, I also need 6, 9, 12, the methylators. So I need all my B vitamins. And so that's why folic acid is there, especially in this step, for why you get more depleted in it. I'm going to have to break this down. It's very important when I am on fire, because I'm burning, that I have antioxidants. The most famous antioxidant in the liver is this glutathione, but I can do other antioxidants as well, like turmeric, like ginger, like cinnamon, like all of the colors of fruits and vegetables. Those are really important antioxidants. There are things that upregulate step one, or increasing burning things. And one of the best examples is the herb milk thistle. So if I really need to upregulate this, milk thistle can help upregulate. It's kind of like adding another match to the fire. It'll upregulate that if you feel like you're not getting enough fire. Carotenoids, which is basically beta carotene and all the other carotenoids that are in orange and vegetables, and any vegetable that turns yellow or orange as it goes bad, those are very important antioxidants for this step, as is vitamin E. If you are vitamin A deficient and E together, you can get senile cataracts. And so this is how, when I am on a lot of medication, that can increase the aging of patients. And then vitamin C recycles vitamin E. So in that way, vitamin C does many, many functions, but it has part of it as a recycling of vitamin E in the antioxidant stages. Who needs to burn things? Anything that I'm eating in my diet that, besides hormone replacement therapy, if I've been exposed to a pollutant, I have non-organic food that has insecticides or pesticides, I'm adding food additives. Those are the colors and the dyes and things. When you cover up the label or you read the label, you're like, what is this? Because it's not listed on the nutrition part of it. So it's not protein or carbohydrates or fats or vitamins or minerals. That would be a food additive. It has to be burned. You're taking, as I'm saying, majority of drugs going through the cytochrome P450 system, or you're drinking alcohol. And this is why additional drugs or alcohol can really have a big impact on birth control pills and hormone replacement therapy, because now I'm increasing how much fire I'm going to need. Now, if I have these toxins, which we're going to say are like tires, and they're in your field, not so great, right? But tires on fire are much more dangerous. So you have to put the fire out. So once I burn these, you would think, well, then they're less harmful, but they're actually more harmful unless I put the fire out. And that's called stage 2 or phase 2 liver detox. I need a lot of amino acids. 40% of, well, actually, a lot of people don't get enough protein. But for people over 50, 30% of men and 50% of women do not get enough protein. If they do not get enough protein, then what happens is I don't have all these amino acids. I don't have L-glutamine, which comes in chicken and chicken soup and bone broth. I don't have enough glycine, which is a very common amino acid in all protein, but it is known to be in collagen, probably why a lot of people like that. But as long as you have enough protein, every protein has enough glycine in it. Taurine, which is made from cysteine, is made from sulfur-containing amino acids, which are found in things like cruciferous vegetables and asparagus and eggs and onions. And that's why these are so important. When we talk about these phytochemicals that are found in garlic and the cruciferous vegetables and asparagus, we are talking about the sulfur-containing elements that are going to help put the fire out. Once the fire is out, there's 2 things that can happen. Where now we took the drug, can't have it in our body, we need it for one day, then we have to burn it. That's why we have to take it the next day. It's how the liver works. Then I put the fire out. If the fire was made from something that's fat soluble, it will have to go out through your bile. That means I have to have my gallbladder working well, and the liver has to work well so that I can actually move the bile through the liver into the gallbladder and then put it in the bowel. I only do this for fat solubles if I eat fat at every single meal. So it's really important to have good fats. Some omega-6 fatty acids, they are essential. Omega-6 fatty acids get us a lot of bad rap, but the bottom line is they are essential at almost 11 to 17 grams a day. That's about a good tablespoon of omega-6 fatty acids. It's not a no-fat diet, it's the right fat diet. Do I need the omega-3 fatty acids that are the good guys, everyone says? Yes, of course I do, because that's really good for my heart health and my brain health, but I still must have those omega-6 fatty acids, and I must eat good fats at every meal. So good fats that come in nuts and seeds are really, really important, so that when I put the fire out on those fat-soluble vitamins, on those fat-soluble compounds that have been burned, I can then have the bile flow. That takes fat. It also takes vitamin C. I cannot make bile without vitamin C. And so those 2 things, eating fruit and having good fats, then will allow me to put that bile in the bowel. Now, what's important as well is that I have to eat fiber. If I don't eat fiber, then this bile is going to be reabsorbed and it's going to go back to the gallbladder and back out. Now I'm going to have bile that's not fresh. And that's how a lot of people can get gallstones. And that's what we saw on the side effects, that you can get gallbladder disease. You will not get gallbladder disease if you do things like drink hot water with lemon, and I eat all my cruciferous vegetables, and I have enough protein, and I eat fat at every meal, the good omega-6s, the good omega-3s. And now I have fiber that binds the bile, and now I'm going to poop it out and get rid of those toxins. The water-soluble ones, I'm going to have to put through the kidneys and out in the urine, because it shouldn't be called urine, it should be called you're out. What do I need in order to make urine? I need water. Can you have iced tea? Can you have soda? Can you have juice? Would you do your dishes in it? If the answer is no, then the answer is no. You need water, because water is going to flush out that system and let you take those water-soluble toxins out through the urine. So we want to have, for this, to remind ourselves, good fat, omega-6s and omega-3s. We want to also have vitamin C. We want to have water, fat, and we want fiber. Fat, fiber, vitamin C, water. That's going to help us both get rid of these toxins after step 2. Step 1, I need my B vitamins, I need my antioxidants, because I'm going to burn everything. There are 2 things that we have to be very cautious of for upregulating phase 1, or the burning impact. Some medicines need to be in your system to have an impact. We do not want to upregulate the detoxification of them. We want them to stay around the right amount of time. So we don't want to get rid of them too fast or too slow. So on the last slide, we're talking about getting rid of them at the right speed. What about getting rid of them too fast? Grapefruit juice and St. John's wort. This is a picture of St. John's wort. This is grapefruit juice. They have the largest drug interactions. Why? Because they interact with the cytochrome P450 system and upregulate it. Therefore, now I don't have enough antibiotic to fight infections. I don't have enough birth control to not get pregnant. I don't have enough hormone replacement therapy, so I don't have hot flashes, so I don't have vaginal dryness. This is why we want to avoid the grapefruit juice and the St. John's wort when I'm on things that I need to have in my body at the right level every day. And so you have to be very, very cautious and read the label and make sure that you're not doing grapefruit juice and St. John's wort if you're on a medication that it is contraindicated in, which is the majority of medicines, unfortunately, because the majority of medicines go through the cytochrome P450 system. Now, I need 100% of the B vitamins when I'm on birth control pills and hormone replacement therapy. But for vitamin B6, I need more, way more than the RDA. I need 25 to 50 milligrams of vitamin B6. Now, I recommend vitamin B6 over here as pyridoxal 5-phosphate. I just did a screenshot of all the places that make pyridoxal 5-phosphate. This is the active form of vitamin B6. And I believe that some women lack the enzyme to make the active form of B6, and that's why they have a lot of side effects. So I think for the extra, go ahead and have it as pyridoxal 5-phosphate. For magnesium, the most absorbable magnesium form is magnesium glycinate. Unfortunately, vitamin companies can give you magnesium oxide, which is not absorbable. Put glycine in it, which we talked about the importance of glycine, but putting glycine with magnesium oxide does not make magnesium glycinate, even though they can claim that it does. And the problem with that is then it's just going to help you move your bowels, not a bad thing, but it needs to get reabsorbed. It needs to be absorbed rather in your body so that you can actually have the benefit of the magnesium. Magnesium calms you down so you can sleep at night. Magnesium is really important for not getting smooth muscle cramping. That would be cramping in your legs, cramping in your abdomen, cramping in your uterus, cramping in your blood vessels, which is hypertension. 80% of adult Americans are magnesium deficient. So that is a huge problem. And so I say, why not do the least expensive magnesium that's known to be well absorbed and just go with magnesium citrate? If you get diarrhea on magnesium citrate, just cut back. But the RDA is 400 to 600 milligrams a day. So you may have to add as many as 300 more because you may not be getting enough during the day because of the birth control pills. Hormone replacement therapy puts a lot of pressure on the magnesium, and probably why sometimes on hormone replacement, you can get a bit moody because magnesium is going to really calm that down. You know that you're magnesium deficient when you crave chocolate. Chocolate happens to be very high in magnesium, as is anything that has chlorophyll, which makes it green, and in nuts and seeds. So those are the foods: nuts and seeds, chocolate, right? And greens. And so you have to have those foods, otherwise you really need extra magnesium. So if you have questions, you can email me at mbelliette@potentialpowernutrition.com.